in alignment and safe. Allowing your body to be supported by the chair. That's it. Just allow yourself to relax. And I would encourage you to focus on your breath. That gentle, easy in and out of your breath. And with each successive breath, becoming more and more relaxed, more and more centered, and more comfortable. And if there is any sounds in the room, that they just cause you to become more and more relaxed, more and more centered, and more at ease. Allowing your body to just let go and go. I invite you to bring your focus to your heart center. That place that is in the middle of your chest. As you bring your focus to your heart center, I invite you to use your imagination. Imagine that there is a beautiful light that is flickering in your heart center. And as you bring your attention to this light, it becomes greater and greater. Spreading throughout your body. And as it spreads, you become enveloped by this essence, this energy. Feeling the comfort, the safety, and the love. And with each breath that you take, this oneness becomes Sensing this love and this energy all the way from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. It feels so good to be in alignment. It is so comfortable being connected. Being connected to this normal and natural way of being. It feels so good. It is nice to remember that this is the normal and natural way to be. The connection to the core of your being. And the core of your being, connected to all that is. Enjoy it. Remember it. Anything that is unlike this place of connection and peace easily just floats away. And you come back to this place of centeredness. This place where all creativity begins and has its being. Yes. Experiencing just how expansive this feeling and this this energy is limitless. Expressing a greater and greater reality of love. Of connection. Of alignment. Allowing the core of your being to bask in the truth of this moment. This divine oneness from which all creativity emanates. And now I invite you to anchor this experience within the core of your being through gratitude. Grateful for this moment. Grateful for this connection. Grateful for the remembrance. We bring it to this point of recognition by saying,
Now I can hear myself too. Okay, thank you.
And this is on. This is on too. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity. Good morning. I'm Deborah, and I'm your facilitator today. And we're going to start off with some joy singing with Dadri.
Yay!
Yay!
Good morning! I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. You can stand if you like, absolutely. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right now. My soul is welcome here. Sing it for me now. My soul is welcome to pray. Welcome to dance. Welcome to share. To share a smile. To share a good word. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I release and I let go. Well, it starts off a little bit slower. There was a time in my life, thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. Can I get a yes? But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it go. Can I hear a yes? And this is what you have to say. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let's take a nice big deep breath, shall we? And as we prepare to go into prayer, let's sing this one. I let go, I allow, I accept, and I trust in the light. I am whole, I am one. Let's sing it together. I let go, I allow, I accept, and I trust in the light. I am whole, I am one. One more time. I let go, I allow, I accept, and I trust in the light. I am whole, I am one.
Join with me in consciousness, in this oneness, in this wholeness, in this light. For this is what I know. There is only one divine essence that permeates all things seen and unseen. It is being me and my life right now. And so I speak in the first person, present tense and positive, because there is only one thing going on here, the oneness, and it's all good. And as I focus on that goodness, more goodness shows up in my life. And so today, I choose to step into the flow of that which is good. I feel the guidance, and I move naturally towards it. For it is my divine essence to be happy, to be joyful, to be peaceful. I am so prosperous in all ways, and my heart is filled with the truth of this knowledge. So grateful I let it go, and I let it be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
I let go. I let go, I allow, I accept, and I trust in the light.
daily word today is divine wisdom. I embody the wisdom of infinite mind. In his poem, The Answer, Lowell Fillmore describes reaching the limits of human understanding and pausing to give my weary brain a rest. He writes, "In that still moment, after self had tried and failed, there came a glorious vision of God's power, and lo, my prayer was answered in that hour." I bless my intellect and give thanks for all the insights it has provided. At the same time, I accept the limits of intellectual understanding. The gifts of God, the Apostle Paul tells us, must be spiritually discerned. In prayer, I let God be God in me. I let go of intellectual understanding. I align my mind and heart with divine wisdom. I trust the infinite mind in me and allow it to guide my path. Those who are, and from Corinthians 2:14, those who are unspiritual do not receive the gifts of God's Spirit, for they are unable to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. And our annual theme for, nope, we have one more thing before we have that.
Yes.
How has unity impacted my life? Is there someone who would like to give us a minute or two of how unity has impacted your life recently or over time? Dedri. Okay, Dedri.
Unity has been wonderful to me because one of the biggest things I've learned is how to be myself and the many different sides of me, the many different facets of me, the wig-wearing kind, the always smiling person, the sometimes grumpy person, and just learning to accept me for who I am and understanding that I'm enough for me and I'm never too much for anyone else.
Thank you, Dedri. That's fabulous. Now, our annual theme, one humanity, many stories. And our theme for the month is ensure the stewardship of our planet. Now, that's pretty important these days. Ensure the stewardship of our planet. Today's talk is on transcending fear. So here's a great song to get us in the flow of inspiration.
I roll the stone of fear and I walk away. I walk away. I roll the stone of doubt and I walk away to freedom. Would you sing the next verse with me? I roll the stone of sadness and I walk away. I walk away. I roll the stone of despair and I walk away to freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom. Together, I roll the stone of judgment and I walk away. I walk away. I roll the stone of pain and I walk away the stone of darkness and I walk away. I walk away. I roll the stone of fear and I walk away to freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom. One more time. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom. I walk away to freedom.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to see you here this morning. I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas, and it's my absolute pleasure to bring you yet again another way of looking at life. So we're going to talk about transcending fear and how it has to do with ensuring the stewardship of our planet means that when we're happy, ultimately the planet is happy too. And where it begins is within. So how many of you experience fear every now and then? A couple of people. I'm glad I'm not alone. So part of this got lost up there. I'm not sure what it's supposed to say. Fear, the two acronyms, everything and run. So fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. And so fear can be looked at either way. Either it's like, yikes, what am I going to do now? Or is this a lesson that I can learn from? And what is that lesson? And it's not something someone's imposing on you. It's coming from within you to reveal a greater part of who you are. So fear, it actually replaces the unknown with the awful. Would you say that's true? Yeah. It's self-realizing or self-actualizing. The more you fear, seems like the more you have to fear, doesn't it? It distorts your view. It's pretty hard to look lovingly when you're afraid, or to be positive when you're afraid. Drowns your capacity for critical thought with disruptive emotions. It really is difficult to find a solution in the middle of fear. Would you say that's true? Yeah. And lulls you into inaction, enticing you to passively watch its prophecies fulfill themselves. How many have just collapsed into it? The fear, the deep dark hole, the it's not going to work, this is just the way it is. And yet, here we are. So we do transcend fear because it doesn't last. And why doesn't it last? Because it's not real. Because we can make a difference just with changing our thinking. So is there something we can do? Sure there is. And I'm about to give you some ideas. So this is very much a unity principle, and it's a little bit funny, so I always like to include something at the beginning that's a little bit funny. So there's a guy sitting on the deck of the Titanic, and the Titanic hits an iceberg, and he says, as he's holding his drink, "I just asked for ice in my drink." And the bottom line is that spirit is very specific. It's principle. It's like gravity. You can't say, I'm going to drop this, and gravity's going to go, well, not today. It's just going to float there. It happens all the time. When you want something or even don't want gravity to work, it's working. Spirit is the same way. And how you work with it is the kind of life you end up experiencing. So let's go deeper into it. So first we're going to look at what is fear telling you. We're going to talk a little bit about us and deliberate creation, the art of allowing your good to show up. So what are you afraid of? Anybody want to just tell me what you might be afraid of? It doesn't have to be a big one. You don't have to reveal your deepest, darkest fear. But
Embarrassing myself.
Embarrassing yourself, okay. Anybody else? Centipedes? Yes, I'm there with you. Those little rascals, eh? Like you'd think, why? Why? Anybody else? Wasps, okay. Okay. Anybody else? Heights? Okay. Needles. So what's the common denominator with all of those? Is there one? It rather is. Like when you think even a centipede, how tiny it is. Like why would we be afraid, or a spider? Now mind you, I saw a really big one outside my window the other day. Or heights. Why would we be afraid of heights?
Because it's so far down.
And yet here we are, right? We're not falling over the edge, or we're none of that. And yet there's this fear, this really irrational fear. Like needles, for instance. Why would that be a fear? A millisecond of a moment when it pinches, and yet the rest of it really is nothing. And yet we're afraid, like really afraid, right? So we might be afraid of getting it wrong. We might be afraid of having yet another broken heart if we really opened up. We might be afraid of feeling bad, and I don't like feeling bad. Someone getting hurt, maybe we're afraid for someone else. Might be afraid of the economy, about money. There are so many things to be afraid of. And yet I'm here to tell you there's equally as many, if not more, things to be really looking forward to and to be grateful for and to focus on. So if Source is love, what is it thinking when you are in fear? So the Source part of you, what do you think it's thinking or attempting to tell you when you're in that place of fear? Be strong. Uh-huh.
Go on the gondola anyway.
Did everybody hear that? Go on the gondola anyway. Or like a most recent example for me was in the deepest part of my illness about a month ago. I was really not sure what was going to happen, and yet there was this love within me that said it's okay. And I want to tell you, this is how prayer works. You know, people say, oh, if you want to get a specialist's appointment, it's going to take you a year or two to get an appointment. And then, if you need to have anything done, probably a year or two after that. Well, last Tuesday I had an orthopedic surgeon's appointment. Last week. And on the 15th of October, I'm having total hip replacement. October 15th, like I have a month to think about it. Now, am I going to be afraid from today until that surgery about what it might feel like to go into surgery and what it might feel like to wake up from that? I could. And can you imagine the mess I'd be by the time I got to the doctor on October the 15th? There's a Buddhist who told a story about how he pulled out his own tooth. And this young student that was a student Buddhist said to him, how could you do that? I mean, I would be just so upset for such a long time before that, and then I'd be so upset having to do it, and then I'd be so upset that I had to do it. And he said, well, I don't think about it except for that millisecond that it has to happen. And then I do it, and then it's over. And how many of us would love to be able to live that way about everything that's a question in our lives? So something I'd like you to know. You are a spiritual broadcast station. You broadcast out so powerfully who you are and what you expect life to bring you that it can only say yes to you. That is how powerful you are. And so if you want to know what you've been thinking, look at your life today. Look at what's going on and look how you feel. Your feelings, your emotions are your barometer for what's been going on in your life and even what you're thinking today. So I'm not here to tell you what to think, but just how to think. What you focus on grows. We teach that in Unity. We teach that in all kinds of New Thought. And so I invite you to start to consider that what you focus on grows. So fear is telling you that you aren't in alignment with the source within you. Nothing else in nature, as it goes about its business, except unless it's prey and being chased by a predator. Fear is really something that's just an illusion, something that we create. And it isn't the essence of who any of us are. I don't know if you've ever just taken a moment to take a deep breath and just close your eyes and be in that really peaceful place that can occur when you're not too afraid. But that's your normal and natural way of being. It's not the emotional highs and lows and the roller coaster that we go through every day. It actually is pretty status quo. And yet, how many of us are really happy with things just being kind of status quo? No. We want that undulation, don't we? And so fear is part of that game that we play. So this is you. I'm not getting it right. I might get it wrong. I don't know what to do. Might be some of the things you say when you're in fear. And Source is saying, don't worry. It's okay. It's working out. The problem is often that voice is really, really quiet and really soft and doesn't repeat itself. It may once whisper to you and say, it's okay. But then you don't hear it again and you think, oh, well, that was just my imagination. And yet that soft, still, quiet voice that you hear within you that's confirming that everything's okay and not be worried is actually hugely powerful. It is the broadcast center that brings all your good to you. And the moment that you start to recognize that that is your power, that is the flow that is within you, is when your life begins to transform to more good than what you've been experiencing today. So fear is really your thought is screwed up, is what it is. You are not in alignment. It's not true based on your inner being. Fear is just a paper dragon, but boy, does it ever feel real when you've got the grips of it. So deep down, you want to, you must, and you are born to line up with the spirit within. And fear really is saying, it's almost like wearing a tight shoe. Take it off. Let it go. Because you're meant to be comfortable. This thought doesn't line up with Source. Should I keep thinking it? And you know that thought doesn't line up with Source when it doesn't feel good. Jesus, a number of times in the Bible, was quoted as saying, in various different ways, but in this particular way, it's done unto you as you believe. And that seems like just this light little statement, it is done unto you as you believe. And you think, well, how could I believe in fear? And yet, there you are, experiencing it. Who else is believing it for you but you, right? So sometimes the momentum of the fear is so strong, though, that it carries you for quite a while, for a number of days, maybe even to all of your family, to all of your friends, because you have told it so many times. You can feel the momentum of it. Like it's really, if you've ever had the experience of either someone or yourself, when you're crying so hard that you start to gasp for air, it's really hard to all of a sudden be calm when you're in that momentum of it. Fear is the same kind of thing. And how do you get out of that kind of fear? Because some things really do have this huge momentum. And I'm here to tell you that the only way is a little at a time. You can't go from terribly afraid and really, really thinking the worst to all of a sudden happy, happy, happy. I mean, that's not realistic. But you can do it in increments. And it comes with deliberate creation, with deliberate thinking. It comes from every night going to bed and saying, somehow, some way, Spirit in me is going to guide me to a happier day, to a better way of seeing things, to a better way of thinking. And then in the morning, confirm it again. Today, for longer, I'm going to focus on what's working, what's positive, what's happy. And eventually, it flips, and that momentum of that fear, whatever it was, has all of a sudden been transformed because there is more in your life showing up that's positive, that is something to focus on rather than the other. Does that make sense? Now, it doesn't mean I'm telling you to ignore the other, no. Because it is a sign that somehow, in some way, you're blocking, you're pinching the flow. So ask yourself, what does this fear really mean? And until you do, you're going to keep it alive. Okay, so the fear of heights, what does it really mean? And does it show up all the time? Or is it just when you're in? I've gotten over it. Okay. Okay. And how did you get over it?
By facing it.
Okay.
Going up the elevator at the CNN Tower because it's glass, and going on in the condo.
Okay, and just being there and knowing that you're okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go and sit on the edge of precipice.
No.
You know, that would be kind of stupid.
With your legs dangling. Yeah.
At Boulder Dam, I hang on when I'm looking over.
Yes. Yes.
You learn to deal with it, especially when you're an old broad.
Well, there's a wonderful book that's written, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And really, when you're choosing to overcome it, you're not in a place of fear, are you? You're in a place of real empowerment. And that's very different. It might still feel quite tense, but it's not a place of fear. And so ultimately, as you did it more, it showed up in ways that allowed you to try it again because you were safe, right?
It always gives you the opportunity.
Oh, the opportunities definitely are always there. And it's what we do with them, isn't it? So is your fear pinching off something that you want? Do you realize that there's another way? So let's say that you're afraid of what might be an example, and I'll follow it through for you. Something that might happen in your life. Anybody give me an example? What might you be afraid of?
A lot of success, because then your whole family's on display.
Okay, a lot of success and your whole family's on display. Well, can you see just from saying that how you're pinching off the opportunity for success and the happiness? And the other part of that is, which is really interesting, that we draw in other people. And it's as though somehow I need to protect everybody else too. If I worry about them, then I don't have to think about me, and I can say, oh, look, I was such a good person because I protected my family. And yet, in a successful situation, we have so much more to give to our family, to our friends, to ourselves. And so can you see how the one really is pinching it off? Great example. Anybody else? So if you keep thinking and talking of all the examples of fear you feel, you're going to keep getting more. So let's say I'm really afraid. Here's my son. He's now 33, but when he was 20-something, he moved to Finland to live there forever. He fell in love and he decided to live there. Now, I could be like some mums and worry every single day about how's he going to make a living, is he going to be liked by his in-laws, outlaws, is life going to turn out well for him, is he still going to love me, am I going to hear from him? I could be focusing on like all of those kind of things. And I'm pinching off the opportunity to really enjoy the fact that as a mother, I really provided a foundation for this young man to go out and live his life in the way that he chooses to live it, and to live vicariously through the connections that I have with him and what he's experiencing. And if I were to focus on all of the negative, I in some way contribute to any of the negative that may happen to him because it is energy, it is a broadcast, and because he is connected to me. And I also am not having a good time in the time that I'm thinking about him if I'm constantly worried about what negative things are happening. And yet the opposite is true. I really know that he's exactly where he needs to be, doing exactly what he needs to do. He's having the experiences that he needs to have to be fully the person that he is choosing to be. And he's having the experiences of fear and of good so that he can then choose which feels better. And it has nothing to do with me other than to say, I trust, I have a faith in this energy that is life that is so profound that I trust that everything that is happening is for everyone's good, no matter what it looks like to me, no matter what judgment I might have on it. And it's taking that same faith for everything that happens with me. So if I don't like what's showing up, if I don't like how I'm feeling, who gets to change that? I do. And I know it sounds really simple. It's not always easy, especially if what you're afraid of has got some momentum and really has legs. So what I'd like to say to you is just back away from the ledge. Just stop focusing on that thing, whatever it is that you're afraid of, whatever it is that's making you concerned. Anything that isn't loving, anything that isn't joyful, anything that doesn't feel good, back away from it. Let it go. Put it over there. If you have to imagine a shoebox, put it in the shoebox. Say, you know what? I know you exist. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just putting you over here right now because I'm working on being connected with Spirit. So don't keep going back to the box and looking, are you still there? Which we do, don't we? Stop talking about what's not working or what you need to get done. Even in the midst of a really, really awful situation, when you begin to think about what you're grateful for and what's working and what's good, even if it's the clouds are so beautiful. Dedri's voice was fabulous. You know, I could be in the middle of fear, but focus on that gorgeous song that you just sang. And all of a sudden, I've let go just a little bit to allow Spirit in to start giving me ideas on how I might move forward in a more empowered way. Have you ever had that experience? And it's just a little distraction, but it's enough to move you. And if you keep doing it, then you're going to look back and go, wow, how did I get here? Why is it that this happened? Because we do that too. Am I really worthy of all this good? And then the other stuff starts to show up again. And it's to say, yes, I am worthy. Who created it? The power within you, through you, created the good, just like it did the bad. And you deserve it. You deserve the good. It feels uncomfortable when you want something and you're not letting yourself flow towards it. How many are in a position right now where there's something you really want and it's just not happening? And you know, there's something to be said for the word want, because want isn't a fulfilled word, a fulfilled adverb or verb. It's a verb. I'm glad there's only retired teachers in here. Right? As Joan peeks around the corner. It's not an adverb, it's a verb. What do you think? Yeah. Consider this. What if you had the confidence to control your consciousness vibration broadcast? What if you knew without a doubt that if you spent even a little bit of time focusing on what's working, what you're grateful for, what you're happy for, even past really nice experiences, that your consciousness rises and you start to experience more of it, and that the things that you're afraid of just naturally start to melt away? What if that was actually how it worked? It's my experience that it does. But I can tell you till the cows come home that that's how it works. And until you've had that experience yourself, they're just words. But just like the Bible said, in the beginning, there was the Word. And unity is based on the idea that your word has power. And so even these sacred scriptures like the Bible talk about the fact that your word has power. It's to recognize that what word are you putting out there? A word that brings more good? Or a word, thought, belief, idea, consciousness that brings you more reasons to be afraid? And again, I've said this so often, and that is that when you work in spirit, you work in energy, and energy you can't see. But you can see the demonstration of it in your life. And if your life isn't really super great, and you're happy, and you're peaceful, and you're confident, then it's your word that is the thing that makes the difference. It's an easy fix. Easy. And how is it easy? Because you practice. And I tell you every Sunday, pray, meditate, get into the flow of spirit. And those may sound like words as you're sitting in your deepest, darkest fear place, going, thanks a lot, telling me to practice. I don't want to practice. I want to be in this place. Okay, until you don't. And then what do? Start practicing feeling good. Start practicing thinking about things that are working. Start practicing gratitude. Have you had that experience, to have that shift? Anybody? Where you just decided, no, this isn't going to get the best of me. I shared a story with Liz earlier this week about my physical crisis. Because I was in so much pain. I still am, but for some reason I think my mental attitude is better, and so the pain isn't quite as bad all the time. But I was at the point where I was ready to, it wasn't an easy fix, I was ready to change my mind. And that was that it hurt so much, and everything I had done, nothing was working. And I finally just said, this is it. If I don't find a solution for this right now, and who am I speaking to? Myself, but spirit through me. If I don't find something that's working right now, then what's the point of even being here? Really, truly, like as in being on this planet, if it's going to be this difficult. And think of how many times you know of people who have gotten to that place, and it may not be physical, but it's like it's so bad. It's like, why continue? This is terrible. And the moment that I said it was as though I unleashed the opportunity for the good to start flowing. And everything started to happen. And I got the medical care I required. I got to see an orthopod. I'm going to have surgery. Today I'm sitting here with virtually no pain medication. I'm uncomfortable, but not like I was then. And the only difference is right here, my word. My thought. And so I invite you, as you go through your life and you have things that you're feeling really afraid of, that you're angry about, because that's fear, that you're feeling uncomfortable about, to just take a moment or two every day, even if it's at night, and think of something positive. Think of something good. And allow that to start to be more of your reality, because slowly, if it's had a lot of momentum, and like my pain and all of that had a tremendous amount of momentum, it was debilitating. It was that much momentum. And I could tell you that if someone had told me the story that I could be at this stage of comfort only 4 or 6 weeks later, I would say that's baloney, and yet here I am. And so I invite you to consider that. Use me as an example. If you've got something terrible going on that is just consuming you, to start to focus on what feels good. Because just that feel good is the broadcast that brings you more. You may not know how. You probably don't know how. I didn't know how. I was doing everything I knew how to do. I forgot to ask Spirit for help. Well, it was in that moment of crisis, that I opened up and said, I don't know how to do this. Show me. And it did. So Jesus said, according to your faith, be it done unto you. So I invite you to think about, what do you believe about source, life, God, whatever you choose to call it, is it constantly supporting you? Is it constantly bringing you your good? And if it's not showing up that way, that's not God's fault. That's your word in God bringing you exactly what it is you're experiencing. And that's probably the most difficult part about these teachings, is that we are each 100% responsible. Unless we're a young child and we're in an innocent place, and in that innocent place we are God. But as adults, we get to choose the tough path or the easy path. And each of you, in one way or another, admitted that you really don't like the even keel life. And so as a consequence, those undulations are part of the, I don't know, give you value, give you some excitement, give you the feeling that you're alive. So if you feel really negative, then you can really enjoy feeling positive. I don't know. Abraham, which is a channeled series of books, talks about that in the sense of being in the flow or not in the flow, and that you pinch it off or you don't pinch it off, depending on what you're thinking. So when is it most difficult to change your thinking? And we talked about that. How about the idea of the other shoe to drop? How many have said that? I wonder when the other shoe's going to drop. Like, it's already bad. How much badder is it going to get? So see how we're building up? Or that we complain. Did anybody complain today about anything? And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but what I am saying is that you have inherited this amazing broadcast station that you are. And it connects directly, because it is who you are, with Source, with Spirit. And so when you're complaining, you get more things to complain about. When you're blessing, you get more things to bless about. When you're smiling, you're actually using less muscles than when you frown. Did you know that? Or what about things are going really well? And you go, oh, it's too good, it won't last. And it doesn't. Who did that? Yeah. So how about, if you're a journaler, write something positive. Make yourself sticky notes with happy faces. Or have a journal and write about, if there's nothing right now, write about something that was good before. Because there is a part of you that is timeless. And it doesn't know it was in the past, and it doesn't know it might be in the future. It thinks everything is right now. And when it thinks everything is right now, then everything, even chemically in your body, starts to transform with that positive. You can do heart math. Some of you have had that experience with me, and I'd like to just take you into a mini heart math experience so that you can take this home with you. So it's a form of meditation. It invites you to think about some scene in your mind where you're really happy, where you're either really peaceful, maybe you're laughing, maybe you're hugging someone that you really love, maybe you're looking at a scene that just warms your heart. Maybe you're sitting in your sauna at home and feeling really, really safe. I don't know how many of you go in the sauna. Think about something like that as you close your eyes. And as you focus on that thought, breathe gently. And as you're breathing gently in and out, imagine that your heart, rather than your lungs, is doing the breathing. Gently in and out, continually just focusing on that thing that makes you happy, that feels peaceful, that feels really good, that brings a giggle. And allow your heart to continue to do the breathing. And now just bring yourself back to the room. And if you had some negative thoughts just before that, or you came in with that, wasn't that like a little oasis just for a moment? A giggly oasis, I can't even say the word. That's how simple it is. And And I'm really, really telling you from my own experience that you take a few moments in the midst of a crisis to just do that, and things begin to shift. Clarity materializes. Your answers start to bubble up as to what you might do to solve the problem because you're open to the creativity. And you have this lightheartedness. How many are feeling a little lighthearted at the moment? Yeah. So look for stuff to worry about or look for stuff to laugh about and be playful about. You get to choose that. And if you choose the stuff to worry about, yahoo, yippee, skippy, go for it. Do it, make it good, and then let it go. So are you justifying your own existence through your struggle? Like, is it somehow that if you're struggling, it makes it that you deserve that money that you're making, or the life that you have, or the person that you're with, or the experience that you're having? Is that somehow validating who you are? Because that's a lie too. Comparing yourself to others. Are you thinking worst case scenarios? Or maybe your fear is saying that it's only your way and not anybody else's. That's also not being loving. And can you see how you could bump up against a lot of stuff if it has to be your way? So, does the average person follow the path of most or least resistance? How many people follow the path of least resistance? It's not fun often, is it? Unless it is. It's really a skewed measure of worthiness, strength, bravery, paying the price, determination, willingness to do whatever it takes. And we all fall trapped to that. We've been taught that. We've been domesticated, like Don Miguel Ruiz says. We've been domesticated to believe that we're not worthy unless we're struggling, unless we're proving we're stronger than someone else, unless we're proving that we can really be brave in this situation, or that, oh, well, I guess I have to pay this price for the good that I'm about to receive. And that's all baloney. Doesn't have to be that way. But if you're like me and you're a bit of an adrenaline junkie, sometimes I feel alive. But it's not always the kind of alive I'd want to feel. So all of this fear is contrary to who you really are. So are you ready? You are already supported by more than enough grace to keep you going forever if you're not stopping it. And we've spoken about grace, and we've spoken about the goodness of spirit. I want you to know that within you and in the realm of who you are, there is more than enough for you of everything good. And the way you're pinching it off is through your word. Because you're a broadcast station. Fear, 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 not enough, not enough, not enough. And what do you get? Fear, 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 not enough, not enough, not enough. Or love, love, love. Joy, joy, joy. Peace, peace, peace. And it begins to bubble up. So your work all day long, from here on, is what can I think about that feels good when I think about it? Whose face can you conjure up in your mind that brings a smile to your face? What thought can you think about? And maybe it's like, oh, I'm going to have fettuccine Alfredo for lunch. Or you think about the face of your grandmother who just always warmed your heart. Or you think about the sun on your face even when you're inside. How many of you can conjure up that feeling? Oh, it feels so good. I choose to feel good and allow the path of least resistance to reveal itself to me. So what you think about becomes your consciousness. It's what you broadcast, and then it shows up in your life. Source knows. You don't have to prove Source or your worthiness. You didn't come here to fix anything. I want you to hear that. You did not come here to fix anything. You're perfect just the way you are. You're part of this perfection, and you have all the tools. They are who you are. So chill out, take a nap, go to bed, and then get up and feel as good as you can. So stop the negative thinking in its tracks, even if it's to do 30 seconds of heart math, or conjure up an image of something that pleases you, whatever that might be, because it's enough to shift that broadcast to the good starting to come in your life. Are you ready to do that? I see it in you. So fear and faith are identical in that the energy used in one is the same energy as that used in the other, since there is but one energy. Fear is the positive acceptance that you shall experience that which you dislike. Faith is a positive acceptance that you will experience that which you do like. They're identical in this mental action. The only difference is the direction. And I'm really long in the tooth today. It's 11:30 already. So I'm just going to skip ahead. This was one of those talks where it was 2 talks in one, and I had to kind of accumulate all of it. I could talk on this all day. But I know from my own experience that when I'm not feeling good, it's not serving me. And I know from my own pain experience that when I start to let go of focusing on the pain, it actually goes away most of the time. And the surgeon will make the rest of it go away by doing what he needs to do. So whatever pain you're feeling, I invite you to release it. Stop pinching off the flow, because your faith will make you whole, and so it is.
Thank you very much, Anne. That's fabulous. Conscious giving. We believe giving is a spiritual practice. If you are here for the first time, know your presence is a gift to us. Please take your conscious giving envelope in your hand and affirm the following with me, if that's comfortable. Divine love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all I have, all I give, and all I receive. So what are you singing for us today?
I remember writing a song a long while ago, and someone said to me that it sounded so different that it felt very negative. And I hid a lot of these songs for such a long time, this series that I call Out of the Darkness. This is one of the ones, and I have done it before, but this is one of the ones from this series. It's called I Rise. Of my past, I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise from all self-sabotage, I rise from the deep inside, I rise from the broken, wounded heart. I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise.
shattered hopes and dreams. I rise from pretenses and all masks. I rise from all my self-inflicted chaos. I rise. I rise. I rise. I rise. Like the phoenix, I rise. Spread my wings, I rise. Moving forward, I rise. No looking back, I rise. Like the phoenix, I rise. Reborn, I rise. To a new life, I rise. I rise. I rise. Like the phoenix, I rise. Would you repeat it for me? Spread my wings, I rise. Moving forward, I rise. No looking back, I rise. Like the phoenix, I rise. Reborn, I rise. To a new life, I rise. I rise. I rise. I rise. I rise.
Yes, we do. Let's say this offering together, this offering affirmation together. Given in love, received in love, this offering goes forth to do its perfect work. All my desires and needs are met by Spirit through me, and so it is.
If you're here for the first time, we have a gift for you at the Welcome Center in the corner back there.
Yes, I think our first timer got his gift already, eh?
There were some announcements that I didn't get to earlier, so I'd just like to make them now. Next Sunday is our picnic. So there won't be a meditation at 10. Service will start, so if you arrive there, for the service to start at 10:30. And it's a potluck as well.
And Deborah will be singing.
Dedri will be in Lithuania. Very exciting. I don't know.
Battlefield Park,
Battlefield Park.
at
Okay.
the pavilion at Battlefield Park. So it's a covered pavilion, apparently, even if it's raining. It's going to be just great. So bring a chair, bring something to share.
That's a rhyme. Bring a chair, bring something to share.
Corner of King and Highway 20, that area, people don't know where.
Okay.
Corner of King and Highway 20. Thank you, Jean. I have yet to be there. The Wednesday night course still has openings. The book Beyond Limits is here if you've ordered one. And there is a sign-up sheet at the back for anyone interested in a follow-up group for last week's The Dominance Theory from last week's topic. And Anne has a quick announcement. So people can hear you.
Oh, I think that I can be heard. 2 weeks from now, Ruth Finley and myself, Ruth will be here doing the singing, and she's going to stay in the afternoon, and Ruth and I will be presenting a healing circle. So it would be wonderful if you can stay in the afternoon and join us and experience that with us. I know there's probably nobody in this room that's experienced it except for that young lady over there, who usually does the singing for me. So I look forward to sharing that experience with you. If you have any questions, I'm going to be here for a couple of minutes after. So just ask me and I can answer for you. Thank you. Thank you.
So because we are founded on prayer and meditation, know that if there is anything heavy on your heart, you can let it go in a prayer request form that's on the back of the chairs and place it in the prayer box at the back. And know that not only does our prayer team here hold you in prayer and know the truth for you, but we also send it off to Silent Unity. And so for 30 days, Silent Unity also prays on your behalf. So let it go. Get off the edge and write it down and let the truth flow in. So join with me in consciousness as we do closing prayer. Connecting with Spirit is so easy because it's right where I am. It has its residence within my heart center. And I know as I allow it to speak to me, through me, it guides my way in the most amazing ways. For it loves me beyond anything that I could even imagine. It knows I am enough, I am worthy, and that I have the ability to use my word to create my world, because it says yes to all my words. And so my emphasis today is to walk in grace, to walk with rose-colored glasses that are tinted rose by Spirit. I see God in everything. And if it's not good, it's not done yet. Because I send it love, and I bless it. And then I have even more things to bless. Life is good, God is good, and I am enough. And for all the people I may be concerned about, God is at the center of each one of them too. Guiding, loving, supporting. Everywhere present, always good unfolding. And so that's what I choose to focus on. God is right where they are, guiding their way. Benevolence, grace, exactly perfect. So I let go and I let it be so. And so it is.
And if you would stand if you are able, if you would like to, let us, and hang on to somebody's arm, give them a little squeeze, let them know that everything is going to be just fine. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one sun, one tie that binds us that can't be undone. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I
again. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family sharing one sun, one tie that binds us that can't be undone. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love, affirm it. I choose love with excitement. I choose love. And all the people say, amen.